Let's make a paper quilt. We're going to start by folding a square of paper in half. And when I fold, I really press out the edge with my fingertip. And I can even use my nail to make sure it's really nice and flat. Then I'm going to fold it again and do the same thing. Press out the edge. Now I'm going to have this nice little square of paper where two edges are folded and two edges are open or not folded. So just so that you can see this better, I'm going to draw a line on the folded edges. And these are the two edges that we have to be a little bit careful with. We can't cut too much off of those folded edges. We have to leave at least a little bit of that black line, or if you don't draw the black line, you have to imagine it, but you have to leave a little bit of that edge showing, because if you cut it all the way off, which I'm going to actually demonstrate for you, cutting that edge all the way off, here's what's going to happen. You end up with 4 separate shapes. Now those shapes might look really cool, but we want to keep them attached because that's just a little bit easier. But if you make this quote unquote mistake or happy accident, you can still use those pieces and arrange them to make a really cool shape. It just makes it a little harder because then you have to glue them all back together. What we actually want to do is leave a little bit of that folded edge still intact or still together so that when we open the shape up, it all stays in one piece. And I'm going to fast forward through this next example that I created so that you can see what that looks like. And here is the finished product. So the next step in this project is to put all of our pieces together to make a beautiful quilt. So I'm going to start by gluing down some background squares onto a large piece of paper, and I'm making a grid. And I want to have different colors so that I don't have all the same color touching, and that's going to give us a little bit more contrast. And then as I'm gluing down the paper cutout pieces that I've made on top, I'm kind of arranging them so that it's not, once again, so it's not the same color all in a row, but it's like different colors with different background colors and trying to have none of the same color touching, and that just makes my quilt look a little bit more interesting. So this completes step 1, or part 1 of our quilt making project. And the next class, we're going to start working on part 2, where we add one more final detail to make these complete.